You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 454 of Podketeers. This week we talk about pancakes and Mickey waffles, and let me warn you, if you haven't eaten, you might get hungry as I did. One of Josh Gad's dreams finally becomes a reality. Magic Happens returns after a 3-year hiatus. March Mayhem is coming. We have definitive proof of the show coming to the Hyperion at California Adventure, and we continue our segment recapping Disney history over the last 100 years, great moments with Mr. Andrew. We'd love for you to join the conversation on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on Discord. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join our community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of people known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP, and as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. Alright, so that's going to be it for the intro. About to jump into the podcast. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. And of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 454 of Podketeers.
Make it pancakes. Make it bigger pancakes.
Happy National Pancake Day.
Make it pancakes.
Yes.
That's the only thing I know from
Pancakes.
that. Make it pancakes.
Happy National Pancake Day.
Happy National Pancake Day to you. Happy National Pancake Day
to you.
to you.
Happy National
You can
Pancake
do anything
Day,
with happy birthday.
but they're
Yeah.
different.
To-
Because Melissa sent us all sorts of information that I think is going to be really interesting, and I think we want to share with all of you. For you.
And
Yay.
many more. Channel 4. Anyway.
You know, pancakes are definitely one of my favorite breakfast foods. Do you have a favorite breakfast food? Like, if you could eat it, like, every day without any ramifications, like, what would you say your favorite breakfast food is?
Ooh. Pancakes with bananas
Okay. All right.
mixed in.
All right.
Yeah.
Andrew?
I like donuts.
Mm.
Donuts are
Donuts.
my jam. I love a donut. I could eat. Oh, you get a donut from like a good donut place. Like everybody's got their donut place, right? Like most
Yeah.
people
Mhm.
like that. You know, I'll get donuts from the grocery store, you know, often and stuff. But it's like there's the donut place. It's like if I'm going to donuts, I'm going to, you know, my place is called Master Donuts. It's in Citrus Heights near me. Well, it's near my mom's house. But anyway, that's my donut place, and they have, it's, you know, I don't know if it's just they're the best or I've just so accustomed to it that my mouth is like that's the best flavor for me. But that's my favorite donut place.
yeah.
Everybody's got to have a donut place.
I agree with that statement. Yeah. It makes your mouth water.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like I have a favorite breakfast food. I think I have like a favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner in different categories. Like I have my savory, I have my sweet, I have
Mhm.
like my guilty pleasure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're
Yeah.
talking sweet, it definitely gonna be pancakes with Mickey waffles coming in a super close second. But my favorite types of pancakes are like the super, super fluffy ones where you can douse them with like a nice melted butter and a warm maple syrup. I think if I have that, I'm happy, like every day. Like that would
Yeah.
make me happy. And I think the reason I like the waffles is because it creates the pockets for the butter and the
Agreed.
syrup. So depending on how nice your waffles are, if we're talking like old school Mickey waffles, that's like the best, right? Because they had like deep pockets for all that stuff. Like Carnation Cafe Mickey waffles, like
Yep.
hot damn, like that is the thing, right? But I've seen the new Mickey waffles that you can make with these like waffle makers that you buy at Target or whatever, and they don't have the pockets. Now the mold is inverted. It's like popping up on the waffle. Like it doesn't make sense to me. I
Mickey's
don't like
face
that.
is like 3D.
I don't
outer
like
rings,
that.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I have that in my head
Well,
now.
they still sell the other ones at the park, right?
I,
Like they still sell the
I believe
traditional
so.
Mickey waffle
I mean, it's a
at the
staple.
park. I think.
right, but if I want to make them at home, I can't.
Well, I guess it's time to buy a metal 3D printer and print your own Mickey waffle.
You know what?
iron.
That's another
Is
one
that a
in the
thing?
Pro 3D printer creating a waffle mold. I'm for it. Listen, anything that will get me closer to that 3D printer,
Yeah.
I'm for it.
I'm very pro waffle. I love me a waffle. Lots of butter on that waffle, but it's got to be hot. It's got to
Yeah.
you put the butter on and it's got to melt like halfway, and then you get the
Yeah.
syrup on there. Ooh,
Mix some
good.
chocolate chips in that.
I'm not. Well, I was gonna say,
Ooh.
if I eat pancakes, I have to eat chocolate pancakes.
Oh,
That's
there
how
you
I
go.
eat my pancakes. I like chocolate pancakes with whipped cream on top. That's how they come at IHOP. And I have to put like a lot of whipped cream on top. I don't do any syrup if it's chocolate pancakes. I just do whipped cream instead of syrup. I just eat like a freaking dessert for breakfast. It's very healthy for you. But it's the only way I eat pancakes, and it's I tell them because they'll like it comes with whipped cream and they'll put like a little squirt on top. I was like, there is never too much whipped cream, so you can put as much whipped cream as you think is
Yeah.
too much, and then put a little bit more, and then that's still probably not enough. One one lady, I did that one time at an IHOP, and she covered the whole sides and the whole top with whipped cream, and then she got a cup and then put more whipped cream in the cup.
Yeah.
And I said, like, that's the perfect amount of whipped cream for my pancakes, because then it like soaks up into the pancake and it makes it really good. Or yeah. So anyway, that's my crazy way to eat pancakes.
But you know what? It's actually healthier because
It's healthier?
it doesn't have as much sugar.
Well, I mean,
And
isn't
syrup.
whipped cream just like
I mean,
sugar and milk?
Yeah.
Or like and
or
cream?
cream.
I mean, not too much.
I mean, I guess it depends on the
I
type of
don't
whipped
know.
cream, right? Because if you're
Yeah.
like, there's some
Yeah.
places that will make their whipped cream without sugar. They'll literally just put the heavy
Whipped
cream into like one of those devices with the like the CO2, and then they'll add like a little bit of vanilla just to kind of give it the essence, but they won't add actual sugar to it. So that in
this is
itself
IHOP.
could
I'm sure
be,
they're using Ready Whip.
yeah, well, I mean, I was gonna say before you mentioned it,
Which
you can
is
just
like,
ask for a
yeah.
plate of whipped cream, right, and they'll just give it to you. But it sounds like you already
Sugar in a can.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's perfect. Yeah, if I ever want to straddle the savory side of my waffles, I don't know why we got into waffle talk. We should have been talking more pancakes, obviously, since it's National Pancake Day.
Well, we'll get to
But,
pancakes.
yeah,
We're
we'll
talking
get to it.
breakfast
Same
now.
stuff. It's just formed differently.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because Mexican food
Okay.
is like that for me, right? Because if I was talking like savory, like chilaquiles or enchiladas would be like my favorite meal that I could eat like all the time. But in essence, they're exactly the same thing. It's just dressed differently, right? And waffles and pancakes are
Yep.
kind of like that, with the exception that waffles are a little, like, if they're done right, they're like super soft inside, but they're like a little crunchy. There's a tiny bit of crunch on the outside, and that's what helps. Oh man, damn it. Okay. Anyway, so
I could just Eggo, like an Eggo.
I can't do
Crispy.
Eggo, man. I can't do Eggo. I can't.
Oh,
I
damn.
don't. I've tried so much, and I've tried the different flavors and everything. But one of the ways that I kind of straddle the sweet and savory when I make like waffles is I will candy bacon. Like I will just like chop up bacon and cook it up and make a candied bacon, and I will add that like as a topping to the waffles. So National Pancake Day.
Oh, you didn't want to talk about
so-
chicken fried steak and eggs next, or
You know what? That's perfect. Perfect transition. So it's National Pancake Day, and Mel sent us this video. Mel, tell us about the video that you sent us, and tell us the amazing rabbit hole that you went down, because these are all things I feel like I'm going to try now.
Yeah. And the funniest thing is that it only started with the meme, which was harmless. The meme was kind of like, hey, I messed up. I put this in the rice cooker and it cooked. Oh, well. And I'm like, what? This is weird. Let me Google. Let me see. Because sometimes you see some stuff and you're like, nah, let me check. So I check and woof, I fell down a rabbit hole. So thanks, Reddit, for all this information and digging and all this stuff, but it's cool. So basically, I'm like reading through because I want to see, is this real? Did someone just pull a prank or whatever? You know, sometimes people post things and it's just silly stuff. I'm going through, and so I find a link to a podcast called, it's from Rooster Teeth. And they had done a 10-year anniversary on pancakes. And they were celebrating. And what they did was they're like, hey, we did this. We'll see if it cooked. Because apparently nobody knew if it cooked in the middle, because that was like the $1 million question. And in the video, they're talking about the pancake and whatnot. And they bring the plate and then you see it. And it's funny because there was a comment that cracked me up. It kind of looked like flan. So it looked like it had the consistency of it, but it doesn't. So they cut it up, take out a slice, and it's like, it looked good. And I'm already fascinated enough to know that I could do this. I didn't even know. And I'm like, guys, I got to share this. So I'm laughing because it goes from meme to the link and then more information. Because I'm like, you guys got to know this because I didn't know about it. Who knows? Sharing is caring, and who doesn't love to learn new stuff? So back to the rabbit hole. So I found out that, yeah, there is a recipe. It's a Japanese recipe someone had posted. And I'm like, this is cool. Let's dig some more because you know what? I got time, whatever. And I found out that the recipe actually dates back to the 16th century in Japan, which is pretty cool. And the coolest thing, so what they did is they treated these pancakes as a savory delicacy with like part of the tea ceremony. And let me see if I could pronounce this right. It was called okonomiyaki. And I learned a little bit more that okinomi means to taste and yaki is grilled. And I'm like, ooh, learn some more stuff. So that makes sense because pancakes, you make it to taste, of course, with whatever you want. And you put it on top of the stove and it's grilled and you flip it and you're done. So this little mistake that I found as a meme ended up being something that they've done centuries before, which is pretty awesome. And I'm like, you guys, this is cool. We got to talk about it because I didn't know about this. And I learned that there was actually, when trends happen online and you could probably think back, oh yeah, this happened, so forth, or this time. So this actually blew up on the internet about maybe 10 years ago, roughly. A couple of things that I found out where like the recipe was just not discovered, but it became mainstream. I want to say like about maybe less than 10 years ago, roughly. So I thought it was a pretty cool find. It's something different and there's a little bit of history. It was actually felt good to like kind of dig through and find some new stuff. So pancakes, there you go. You could cook them in your rice cooker and they won't burn.
I love that they look like little tiny like cakes, right? Like they look like a little souffle,
Yeah.
just kind of like puffed up. And
They do.
okay, the reason I want to try it is because when I have pancakes, one of the things that's most satisfying is, and I think this goes with like waffles, right? Like one of the most satisfying things, like with the Mickey waffles at Disneyland, is that they're super thick. And so when you cut into it, it feels like a significant amount that you're, taking a bite out of your food. And so with pancakes, that's why when you have 3-4 big fluffy pancakes, it kind of feels the same, right? You have like this nice hefty bite.
Right.
But this little Japanese pancake that you make in the rice cooker, it's a tiny cake. You cut into it and you have like this nice big bite that you're taking with it. And so I feel like I just need to try it. I feel so jaded by TikTok though, because last year, actually it wasn't even that long. I guess it's last year because it was just months ago, technically. But there's been a lot of stuff on TikTok where people try to, like, they'll say like, oh, look, I just discovered this, right? And it turns out that it's a recipe that they found, but they're trying to claim it as something else. And they're like, oh, it's this great new spin on spa water, and it's aguas frescas, that we have in like every taco place that you go to. So stuff like that.
Every birthday party and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like this, like the meme that you originally sent with it, I read the, oh, look what I just discovered, and I thought, you saw that on TikTok. Like, you saw it on TikTok, and now you're trying to pass it as your own creation. And I'm so jaded by everything that I see now.
Right, and that's
Nothing's
why I had to
original
Google
anymore. It's okay. Like, everybody's just copying everybody else. It's the world.
Right?
Right.
That's
why I had to like look through and see things. So there you go. Little bit of history.
My coworker is Japanese. She's from Japan, and you'd sent that, and she was like, "Yeah, you can cook all kinds of stuff in the rice cooker. Like you make stew and soup in the rice cooker, and all kinds of stuff." And I was like, "That's very interesting. I mean, it makes sense. It's kind of just like like a crock pot or something.
It's
I
like
guess
a tiny crock pot,
kind of similar idea."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So you can make all kinds of stuff in a rice cooker, I guess. I don't have a rice cooker, so I'm not gonna. I don't eat a lot of rice.
Oh, rice cookers are great, man.
They are.
I got so many things. Air fryer, got Instapot. I guess I got to start cooking more rice.
Yeah, I feel like we do have a lot of useless appliances. Like, we have like a George Foreman grill that hasn't been touched in like years at this point.
But it was awesome. I'm sure.
It was.
That's like let's see. I'm trying to think of what we have sitting around. I know I'll use the magic bullet every once in a while.
I'll still use that one.
Milkshake.
Yeah, I still use that one. I make like different smoothies with it. So that one I still use. Whenever I need to,
I use an air fryer all the time.
Yes, that one also. I think at one point we got like a panini press or something, or like a sandwich press that we've used once and never touched it again. We have like 4 waffle makers. Ironically enough, we don't have a Mickey waffle maker, but we have a Death Star waffle maker. We have a Cinderella waffle maker. We have a standard waffle maker, the ones that like you flip, right? Like a regular like round waffle maker. And then I forgot what the 4th one is. It's another character based one. It's like I want to say it's like a Simpsons one or something like that. I don't remember. We got a long time ago and we just never used it. But yeah, we have like 3 or 4 waffle makers, and we just generally use the standard one because it leaves the deepest pockets for the butter and syrup.
Yeah. I have a hot dog toaster somewhere.
Nice.
You put the hot dogs vertically in there, and you put the buns in at the same time, and it cooks the hot dogs and the buns.
It
doesn't do a very good job. I always have to heat the hot dogs up before I put it in the toaster, and then so it's just like I'll just cook the hot dogs and then put the buns in the regular toaster, and it'll be fine.
That's awesome.
That's something. We have one of those somewhere. Somebody also gifted me a on the counter s'mores maker, which was just basically
fire?
like, no, it it was just basically like an electric stove plate that you
Interesting.
would roast your marshmallows over. That one got donated. We don't have that one anymore, but it's that one was an interesting. I was like, I could just like hold this over the stove and it'll do the same thing.
Yeah. The weirdest.
You could.
The weirdest appliance we've ever gotten. I don't want to say it was a gift. I think it was part of like one of those white elephant gift exchanges or something. But it was a quesadilla press. You literally just put the tortilla in, and it melts the cheese and toasts the tortilla. Which, like you said, that's a stove thing, right? Like we have a comal.
Yeah.
We just have like something you just heat it up on the stove. So yeah, that took up space for a while before we eventually donated it or something like that. I don't remember ever trying it out, but I feel like I should have, just to see what type of difference it would make.
You know, maybe it could have made your life easier. It could have been the best thing you ever had.
Maybe.
But
Made
then
your life so
sometimes-
much easier.
Oh.
You never know, because it's now in somebody else's house because they bought it from the Goodwill.
To the Amazons. I'm
Or
ordering
whatever.
one to see how it works.
What can you do?
Arriving
I
in
don't
2
know.
days.
All right. So before we switch off of pancake and waffle talk, you're going to have to send me if there was like a special recipe or if I could just use like regular pancake mix or something for this rice cooker thing. If anyone is interested and if there is some kind of special recipe and you know it, please share it on Discord. I would love to try this out and try this little cake-looking Japanese pancake inside of the rice cooker. Because if I can make it with the rice cooker that we have, I may never go back to regular pancakes. Like, this may be the new way that I make pancakes going forward. Because it just looks fluffy and delicious and amazing, and my mouth is watering. I can't stop. Please stop me. Let's move on to something else, please. Let's go.
Hey,
Okay.
let's move on to March. It's March. It's March now.
It's
as
March.
of
I
this
know.
episode coming out.
Oh, man.
Smart.
March.
March.
Smart.
So I think we got some event that we're doing in March
We do.
that we have to
Smarch Mayhem.
announce.
Smarch
Smarch.
Mayhem. Merch. Shout out to Pod Meets World, though. Yeah, we have March Mayhem coming up. We are going to be starting that on March 6th, Monday, March 6th, and we're excited because this year we are pitting some of our favorite Disney quotes up against each other. We're going to be voting directly through Instagram stories the way that we have in the past. We're going to be releasing the bracket on Discord. We'll release the bracket on Instagram. And we hope that you join us. We hope that you have some fun this year voting for your favorite quotes. We try to seed everything in such a way. Gavin told me about this, and he told me how seeding works. Like, I didn't know about this until we started doing March Mayhem, right? But he taught me how it works, and he told me like how you put like things on opposite ends of the bracket so that they can eventually go up against each other when they're super popular. We didn't do that this time. We randomized the entire quote system. Since we're starting with more than usual, like we just went into Excel, hit a random number, and that's the slot that they were put in. So there may be some matchups that you think, oh, this should not have gone against this one. I mean, I think that's what's going to make this one a little more exciting. I think we're going to get to the point where if you're like me, when you saw some of the matchups, you're going to curse at your Instagram story, not knowing who to vote for or which quote to vote for. But you know what? That's the fun of March Mayhem. We're going to make this happen, and may the best quote win. Da-da-dun. That's not the theme song. I just, it just needed a sound
Reals.
effect, I think.
March Mayhem. March Mayhem. Okay, there's a theme song. We did it.
Nice.
I mean, if anything, Mayhem is going to be it. It's in the name.
Right?
It's going to live up to it.
So just clip that and then play it every time we talk about March Mayhem. So I don't have to keep doing that.
Make a sound bite out of it. I'll add it to the soundboard.
There we go.
Hey,
With
so
let's see what else is on the soundboard. No, I'm just kidding.
it's waffle time. Da, 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 waffle time. Da, 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 da,
That's-
it's waffle time. Hey, so apparently magic is happening again at the Disneyland Resort.
Finally.
It seems like it's been a while since magic has happened, but it is officially happening again.
Yeah. I know nothing about Magic Happens. I don't think many people know a ton about Magic Happens because it was open for what, 3 weeks,
13 days
before
if
they closed.
Yeah.
13 days. Okay, 2 weeks. So
2 weeks.
it's basically a new parade that nobody knows about. So I mean, you can watch a video of it online. I don't know the song. There's a song that probably says Magic Happens in the song. And they dance around, and it's a parade.
Yes,
A part of me
indeed.
That's what I
doesn't.
have to
I
say.
haven't seen anything.
I haven't watched it either. I don't know.
It still hurts.
It's a parade.
Yeah.
Because that was the week I was supposed to go see it. I'm like, oh.
Me too. My wife and kids saw
Mhm.
it the weekend before, and then I was supposed to go. Like, I remember I was working that weekend, and then I was supposed to go the weekend after, and it was like the day before I was supposed to go is when the park got shut down. And I remember just thinking, like, all right, well, in a few weeks we'll be back. It'll be fine, like, and then stuff happened, and here we are 3 years later, and I still haven't seen. Well, that's not entirely true. My wife did shoot a video of the parade the day that she and my kids went, and I saw portions of the video that she took. I don't know about you guys, but like, I want to feel the parade. Like, I know that sounds a little weird, but like every fireworks show, every parade, like every like spectacular that the Disneyland Resort puts on, or a California Adventure, whatever. Like, it's one thing to watch it on video, but it's a whole other experience to be there and watch it in person and feel like the
Definitely.
magic there, right? Like, and that's part of why it
Mhm.
kind of pains me that I have to watch attractions from around the world on video, because I know that if I ever rode, like, for instance, like Mystic Manor, or if I went on the Pirates ride, you know what I mean? Like, all these attractions from around the world, like, it's a
Yeah.
whole other experience than watching
Yeah.
it on video. And to a certain extent, I felt like that about Runaway Railway as well. But there was a part of me that was curious to see how different it was going to be when I thought it was just a Florida attraction. So I watched the one in Florida because I knew I wasn't going to go anytime soon. And then I did watch a video of the one
Right.
here in Anaheim because, I had already kind of seen it and I wanted to see how much different it was going to be. But yeah, like, I've stayed away from Magic Happens as best as I could because I wanted to be there and kind of experience the music and the like everything, the electricity that it's supposed to bring when it's happening, right? So it's
Mhm.
back at some point. I guess I'm gonna get a chance to watch it unless it goes away in 2 weeks again. I hope it doesn't, but
No. No.
Glowing away forever.
for the
No.
59th
I
time.
know, plus. No, I'm there with you. Like, I honestly feel like I need to make a trip out there because okay, so the reason I haven't been watching anything is because there's films that I adore that are finally in a parade, and one of them is Sleeping Beauty. Well, yes, you do see her, but you don't see the whole ensemble and everybody else. So there's that in Coco, and I was like, no, I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see nothing. I'm stubborn, so I will avoid, but I do need to see it in person. I do, and cry because I do want to see it that badly.
It's gonna be it's got great reviews. It's people have been talking about it. It's seems to be a instant hit. So yeah, I also need to make a trip and see it. Did Larry talk about it last time? I don't remember. If not, next time Larry's here, he can talk about it because I'm sure he's seen it already.
Yeah, I don't think he talked about it when he was last here because I think it was scheduled to debut after he was on the podcast. So,
Mhm.
but like by now, I'm sure that
Gotcha.
by now is different, but at that point he had just seen Wondrous Journeys and World of Color 1.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Which
I also still need to watch.
Yeah.
Gotta watch all the things. Cool stuff.
Just a lot of great stuff happening. Hey, speaking of great stuff happening to other people, this was kind of a full circle moment that I just thought was super funny and also, in a way, vindicating, heartwarming and vindicating all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to take you back to the D23 Expo, and I want to play some audio of one Mr. Josh Gad when he was accepting his Disney Legend Award. So let's take a listen to that.
Oh, God, I love you, Disney fans. Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to speak from the heart. It's such a huge honor and privilege, and by heart I mean teleprompter, to be here today to receive this incredible recognition. There's nothing like having a reason to put on a suit when it's 158 degrees outside. I love you, Ava! That was my daughter. Behind closed doors, I have always referred to myself as the Angela Lansbury of my generation. And I thank you for finally making it official. To peak at 41 is the culmination of everything that I've worked so hard to achieve. Early retirement, knowing that as a legend, I have nothing left in this life to accomplish. Like Sir Ben Kingsley and Dame Judi Dench before me, I will heretofore ask to be formally recognized by my peers and my fans as Disney legend Josh Gad. This corporate knighthood will be worn as a way to not only further my own status, but hopefully get me priority lane access on all Disney theme park rides. And while I know that this honor is most likely a polite way of Disney letting us know that a Frozen live-action film is in the works with Millie Bobby Brown and Zendaya as the beloved sisters Fairy and Jacob Tremblay as Olaf, none of that matters, because all of my insurance, car registration, and doctor forms will now have Disney Legend as a prefix. On a final note, the reason I am here is, like I said, because once upon a time, I saw a movie called Aladdin, and there was this little character named the Genie that inspired me to one day dare to dream of creating a character as memorable, funny, and beloved. I failed, but to now, 30 years later, share this incredible honor with my idol and late friend Robin Williams is a gift my 10-year-old self could never have imagined. Thank you, Disney, Bob, and all involved in this selection for honoring me alongside these incredible legends here, and in particular, my Frozen family, Adina, Kristen, Jonathan, the incredible Frozen creative team, Jen, I love you more than words. I can't see you, but I love you. Chris, Bobby, Kristen, and my friend up there, the great Chadwick Boseman. Thank you to my mom, my stepdad Stan, my beautiful daughters Ava and Isabella, my wife Ida, my entire family for giving me the space to dream. And finally, to the person who rejected me at Disney casting headquarters in Orlando, Florida when I was 18 years old and applying to be a Jungle Cruise skipper. True story. Please make sure to update my resume to Disney legend Josh Gad.
Okay, so we've established the fact that at one point Josh Gad had interviewed to be a cast member, and specifically for the Jungle Cruise. That was like his dream job, right? And he didn't get it. And so now, he's full circle, Disney legend, like possibly the best speech at that entire legend ceremony. And then today, we get this.
Hey guys, this is Josh Gad. It may have taken about 30 years and a lot of rejection, but welcome to the world famous Jungle Cruise. This is the world famous Kylie, and I'm the moderately famous Josh Gad. Please watch your step as you guys get on the boat today, and watch Frozen 2 when you go home. I honestly can't believe they chose me to do this. I really lucked out wearing this outfit to the park today. This is the way I want to spend my last day on Earth. If you'd like to call your loved ones and say goodbye, now would be the time. I gotta tell you, I love lions and I love cheetahs, but I hate lion cheetahs, which is why I left Samantha. Any of the jokes at work I wrote, and any of the ones at the Disney wrote. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the backside of water. Over there are the monkeys. Up there are the Beatles. On my phone are the Bee Gees. Thank you guys so much. You really were outstanding. I just want you to know that of all the crews I've taken into the jungle, you guys have been the most recent. Now, as you exit, if you feel your feet getting wet, you're probably getting out the wrong side of the boat. On a scale of 1 to 2, how was it? Get out. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. Please, get out. That was truly one of the highlights of my life, until security forcibly removed me and told me if I ever came back, I'd be trespassed. If you enjoyed this video, I'm Josh Gad. If you didn't, I'm Josh tomorrow.
Okay, so talk about full circle moment, right? He's actually doing this thing that he always wanted to do. Like, okay, I know he's got special perks and everything because, you know, Disney legend and all, and like he puts it on his forms and everything that he fills out and stuff, but it's kind of cool that he's getting to fulfill this dream of his, right? And is it just me? Like, there was something magical about that.
It was not every day you could tell you could share a story that kind of makes a company be like, oh, we missed the opportunity right there. So kudos to him for even saying and speaking out on that. That cracked me up. So it was awesome to see him do his thing. I'm just curious if whoever was on the boat, if they didn't recognize him at first. Like, that's something I wish I had seen, was the faces, like, of the guests. If anyone, I mean, I don't know. I think I would have freaked out. I would have been like super excited if he was on there, or I don't know. I'm curious. Like, that's something I'm curious about. Like, how would you react if you had seen Josh Gad, like, he's coming up on the boat, you're about to step in. How do you react? Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
I like how he's like, this is the, I don't remember, was it Heather? I forget, I already forgot the cast member. He's like, this is the world famous Heather, and I am the somewhat famous Josh Gad, or whatever he says, moderately famous Josh Gad. Watch Frozen 2 when you get home tonight or something. And it's like, okay.
Yeah, it was funny because he starts off, or he says something like, what did he say? I'm so lucky that I dressed this way or something. Kind of pointing to the fact that he was wearing. Like,
I happen to dress like this today or whatever. Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm torn on how I feel this came about, right? Because, I mean, regardless, we got it, and I think it was super fun, and it was super funny and everything. But I wonder if Disney reached out and they were like, look, Josh, we know you wanted to be a Jungle Cruise skipper. We have this cool thing that we want to do for TikTok. Are you up for it? And Josh Gad was like, yay, let's do it. Or if he was in the park one day and the people running Disney's TikTok were like, oh, hey, you're in the park. Do you want to do the Jungle Cruise thing? Like, or can we do a TikTok with you? And he was like, only if I can do the Jungle Cruise skipper thing. And so they went and backstage and they put him, in costume and everything. Either way, I don't care, right? Like, I'm glad that it happened because it was super fun, and I think he's a great fit for it. But I'm wondering which approach, like, was it them reaching out, asking him to do it, or did he just happen to be in the park with family and friends and they were like, hey, can you be on our Disney TikTok? We got a thing. And he was like, I don't like your thing. Let's do this instead. Which, Disney legend Josh Gad said, I want to be a Jungle Cruise skipper. You should let Disney legend Josh Gad be a Jungle Cruise skipper, right?
Yeah, I think it's more closer to the first idea where they reached out to him, because there's a longer video on YouTube that has like a whole intro and everything about him, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Josh Gad talking to the camera. I'm living out my dream to something something something," and they have a name tag made up for him, just like the cast member name tags and everything. So I want to say it's more of this was pre-planned, just because of a little bit of the shooting styles and stuff like that. They filmed some of it. It looked like it was before the park was open. He was like talking and his breath was all like you could see his breath and everything. It was so cold. So that's my speculation on it. But yeah, if you want to see that, there's a longer, like a 4.5-minute video on YouTube of the same, just longer than what the TikTok clip is or the Instagram clip, and a longer intro from him.
Gotcha. I think we should post that on Discord for everyone to watch. But yeah, I guess that makes sense. Now that I didn't know the other video existed, so I guess that makes sense. But in my heart, I'm going to say that he happened to be in the park, and they were like, "Hey, Josh Gad, will you do a funny Olaf line for us on Main Street? We want to put you on Disney TikTok." And Disney legend Josh Gad was like, "No, not today. That's my purse. I want to be a Jungle Cruise skipper." And then they made him a Jungle Cruise skipper for a day.
Well, and it could be that too. I've been very wrong about lots of things recently. So,
like what? Like what?
Don't
Andrew?
Don't trust my word.
Actually, before you get into that,
what? Okay.
I think we need to take a moment, take a breather, and then thank a wonderful group of listeners known as the FGP Squad. Our podcast, Fairy Godparents,
I love those guys.
It's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers happen. One of these days, we're all going to get together for pancakes. I'm just going to say it right now. But
yes.
As I was saying,
yes.
It's their support that help make these episodes of Podketeers happen. If you want more info on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP for more information. There you will find a list of some of our top contributors, a little bit of info about what the FGP Squad is all about, a link to our Patreon. And being part of the FGP Squad family just gets you some additional perks, like access to a special section on Discord. You get access to our happy hour calls, some additional content that we've posted to Patreon, discount codes for Podketeers gear, random mailings from me, and more. So if you have any questions about what the FGP Squad is all about, please feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. Okay, so as I was saying, Andrew, is there anything that was announced recently that, I don't know, maybe makes you think that, like, you were wrong? I mean...
Yeah, well, just one. It wasn't big or anything, but... I was saying that it didn't really seem like, I didn't think Rogers the Musical was going to come to Disneyland, because I didn't think they would put that much effort into a temporary show, and casting didn't make sense. But lo and behold, Rogers the Musical has been announced. So egg on my face, but it's an egg I will gladly accept on my face. I'm very
good
happy
egg.
to see Rod. What's a good egg? It's a Reese's peanut butter egg on my face.
There you
Nice
go.
and tasty.
Oh, okay.
But that's a good egg. Cadbury egg.
Listen,
I don't know. It's a good egg.
Listen, you went with one of my favorite candies. Reese's peanut butter anything is kind of like my favorite candy, like overall. But when you said egg, I was going to take it back to the breakfast conversation and be like, savory, eggs Benedict, up on the top 3 for me. But I like where you took it, so let's stick with the peanut butter egg.
Reese's peanut butter egg. But yeah, it was, I did say, I said, between Hercules and Rogers, it leaned more Rogers, but I didn't think it was going to be Rogers. But lo and behold, they decide to switch it up at the last minute, and just to make me look like a fool, and turned it into Rogers the Musical. That's definitely what happened. I swear. on this mouse that I'm holding, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, long-winded story short, Rogers the Musical is officially announced for Disney California Adventure at the Hyperion Theater. How many names can I say in a sentence? That's fun.
I mean, if anything, they focused on the English accent. And who did they use?
Mm-hmm.
Someone to
Yeah,
look
Peggy
like...
Carter. Wait, so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there we go.
They're like,
Yeah.
that's
And
how
that
we're
was
going to
in
show
the,
Andrew.
like, yeah, in the like promo art. I do hope that they make that playbill for sale or something, because she's holding a Rogers the Musical playbill in the like teaser that they put on
I'm sure
Instagram
they
and
will.
other places.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everything
As
that
a
you're saying
journal
is
watch.
100% true, right? Because there's been plenty of times where we've said stuff
Yep.
on the podcast and Disney's like, oh, wait, hold our drink. We're doing this instead, just because we didn't want Podketeers to give it away. And lo and behold, you know, they heard you and they were like, oh, we can't do Hercules anymore because, like, Andrew's giving it away. That's really where this was going. So, yeah, I mean, if anything, you're welcome, everyone, for us flipping Disney on this whole what's going to be at the Hyperion, and now you're getting Rogers the Musical. So what can we say except you're welcome? You're welcome.
So yeah, I mean, I'll defend my reasoning a little more in that the writers attached to this musical are not the ones that wrote the original song for the for Rogers in Hawkeye. So that's kind of where I was taking a lot of this from. But I guess maybe the other guy just didn't want to do it. So
Maybe.
there's that.
Yeah. And you know what?
He is kind of like a bigwig, so it's, you know.
And you use logic, and that makes absolute total sense, right? You should use logic for stuff like this, but I went with my heart, damn it. I went with my heart.
And you were true to your heart, no matter how far. I don't know the rest of the lyrics of that song. You know that's a true to your heart.
90 degrees? Yep.
Yeah, that song. That's what I was going for. I was trying to make a joke there, but I can't remember any more of the lyrics. So,
Me
good
neither.
job.
Well, I, for one, am looking forward to it. There's a part of me that kind of wants that playbill as a poster. Like, does that seem wrong? I feel like it would make a nice poster.
that's
Ooh.
show poster. I you know what? I'll take some pins. I'll take playbill. I'll
t-shirt.
take a t-shirt, teddy
Yes.
bear, magnet. What else do they? I'm trying to think of everything else they sell at like
A zipper.
Sleepwear, like
at like a
pajamas. Yeah.
No, like at the tours and stuff. At the merch table, they have like the hoodie, canvas bag,
A CD with
original
the
cast
music.
recording. Yeah, Christmas ornament.
Pencils, pens.
What else do they sell? Yeah, they got all kinds of stuff. Magnet, keychain, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'll take it all.
It'll all be on shopdisney.com before you know it.
That would be, hopefully so, because it'll be easier to get that way.
Yeah. Right on. Well, I think it's a good time for us to jump into some great moments about the Disney company celebrating their 100 years of wonder. And who better than to bring us these great moments than Mr. Andrew himself?
Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-da. Dun,
Oh,
dun.
new
Wait,
music.
is that I don't know. I don't know any present. Yeah, it's new music. 7 years ago, I was with my forefathers, and I don't know what that voice is either. That's not Abraham Lincoln. Anyway, whatever. Great moments with Mr. Andrew. That was anyway, I don't know. Whatever. The years this week are 1939 and 1940. So 1939, Disney is riding high on the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Snow White officially becomes the highest grossing film of all time by that time, with a whopping total of $6.7 million. Ooh, so much money. This year, the Academy nominates 4 Disney shorts for Oscars, with Ferdinand the Bull winning. The Oscars also present a special award to Walt for screen innovation for Snow White. The award was presented to Walt by Shirley Temple. This is the famous Oscar It's the big Oscar statue with the 7 small Oscar statues, which can now be seen at the Walt Disney Family Museum. The New York Critics Circle and the National Board of Review also gave Snow White awards this year. And to cap it all off with Snow White, a staged version of Snow White is produced at London's Victoria Palace. And besides being hard at work on both Pinocchio and Fantasia, the company is producing shorts for themselves, but also other companies. They produce shorts for Nabisco, which was used at the World's Fair, and also a short for Standard Oil. The company releases a total of 16 shorts this year, including The Ugly Duckling, which would be the last Silly Symphony film, and Goofy and Wilbur, which is the first standalone Goofy film. They did all of this while also moving to the new Burbank studio, which officially opened this year. And something fun connected with the shorts, TV station in New York aired a sneak preview of the Donald film, Donald Cousin Gus, making this the first TV premiere of any motion picture. So it's kind of another just first for things. Other notable things that happened in 1939, Disney legend Blaine Gibson joins the company as an in-betweener and assistant animator. A cell of a Disney cartoon is hung in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. Walt buys the film rights to T.H. White's novel The Sword and the Stone and J.M. Barrie's play Peter Pan. A Mickey Mouse watch is sealed into the World's Fair time capsule. And Disney's lawyers compose a proclamation officially establishing the Disney Studio Federation of Screen Cartoonists, which is an in-house company-run employee union, which will come into play very soon. And just to put all this in perspective, 1939 is the end of the Great Depression, but also the beginning of World War II. This is something the company could not foresee when it started some of its projects in years prior, but that brings us to 1940. And we start the year off with a bang. Disney premieres its second animated feature film, Pinocchio, at the Central Theater in New York, which cost $2.6 million to make. And not to be outdone, later that year, they also premiere their third animated film, Fantasia, at New York's Broadway Theater. This film introduces stereophonic sound to motion pictures via a special sound system called Fantasound. The film cost $2.28 million to make, and this is Mickey Mouse's feature film debut in the segment The Sorcerer's Apprentice. That segment alone, the 10.5 minute segment, Sorcerer's Apprentice, cost $125,000 to make. Both of these films are critically acclaimed, but were technically box office flops because the overseas film market was virtually non-existent due to the war. Due to poor box office receipts, the company needed cash badly, so they decided to go public. They released 155,000 shares of preferred stock at $25 per share, and 600,000 shares of common stock for $5 a share. They raised $3.5 million from the stock offering. Other notable events in 1940 include the Oscar that year goes to The Ugly Duckling. 15 shorts are released, including Pluto's first standalone film, Bone Trouble. Ub Iwerks returns to work at the Disney Studios as the head of technical research. And Disney legend Irving Ludwig joins the company. Near the end of the year, the Screen Cartoonists Guild informed Disney it had collected cards from a majority of Disney's employees and would ask for recognition. Walt Disney asked Art Babbitt to reconvene the Cartoonist Federation Union, the in-house one, and the studio sends application slips to all employees to join the Cartoonist Federation. I'm sure we all have an idea what's coming up, coming up in relation to unions. But we'll save that for another week. That's coming up soon. But that is 1939 and 1940. Lots of highs and lows for the company, and that'll kind of continue on for a little while. The war really putting a damper on profits for the company, and that'll continue on for a little bit. Next week we'll talk about more of the Disney gets a little more involved in the war after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. So we'll talk about that next week.
Right on. Yeah, that was that's intense, man. Having to open up a brand new studio building, trying to produce all of those animated features while you're in the process of moving, trying to keep to schedules, trying to keep all the animators as happy as possible while they're working on this. It was nice to see Up coming back and stuff, but obviously it's all difficult, right? Like you alluded to that we're going to get into in a future segment. It wasn't all unicorns and rainbows or Tinkerbells and fairy dust, to put in Disney terms, I guess.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, but I mean this year two animated features come out, having a couple years prior just having the first one ever, and now they're doing 2 a year.
Yeah.
It's and they're both, fantastic pieces of art, let alone, great stories and everything like that. It's very unfortunate that they at the time were flops. They subsequently got re-released and made more money, and now are beloved classics in the year 2023. But at the time it was that's why they had to do that stock thing, is they needed money because they ran out. So
Man, that's where James Cameron got the idea to re-release his films.
Oh, I mean, Disney had been doing it for years. I mean, that was the big thing up until home video. That's how a lot of these films, people saw them. They would just re-release them every couple of years.
Well, I guess I can't hold that against James Cameron for long, because Avatar and all. But that's not what we're talking about. So,
Nope.
Yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave it. It's gonna be interesting to hear what happens with what's coming up with the animators. I'm really enjoying these segments, Andrew. Thanks for putting them together. I hope anyone listening, is learning a little bit about Disney history and what's happened in the 100 years that they've been around. There's been, a couple things that I've learned from these segments. I didn't know that they did shorts for an oil company until you mentioned it as part of this segment.
Yeah, it was just like it was it was kind of like a for hire thing.
Interesting.
They were just like, hey, we want a short, and da-da-da-da-da. And they drew one. It's making money.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're starting out and you need to make money, like, I don't see Disney doing that now, obviously. Like, if they're going to promote anything, they're going to promote themselves as a company, right? Like, I don't see them stepping in and, helping with anything the way that they did during the war or anything like that. But, I mean, if you're a struggling company, you got to make money however you can, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, like the Henson Company or Pixar doing commercials and everything before doing their, getting into films and the like, and or television with Henson.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, it's a great point. All right, well, I guess that's a great place for us to end this week's episode. If you have any questions or any comments on anything that we've talked about, please feel free to join the conversation over on Discord. If you haven't joined the community, it's super simple to join us. Head on over to podketeers.com/links. There you will find links to our latest episode, a Quizneyland playlist, information about the FGP Squad, links to our YouTube channel, links to Larry's YouTube channel, Goofy Guys Adventures. So if you, again, have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But yeah, join the Discord community. We have fun talking about all sorts of stuff, from video games to random things we see in the park to food to really kind of anything we want to talk about. So
pancakes,
Anything.
oh yeah, and if anybody has a specific recipe for these Japanese pancakes, please share it. Put it on Discord. We do have a Disney food section. Perfect place to put it in, because I really want to try this. I mean, I guess I could
Help
always
us out,
just do
Podketeers.
I could always do the standard pancake recipe, but I feel like there might be a specific recipe, and if anybody has a favorite one, I'd love to try it out. So that is going to wrap up this week's episode. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Part of the Podketeers Network.